Now then guys, thank you for joining Foot Talkers. I just want to start off guys by saying a massive thank you for all the support we've had over the last 24, 48 hours. I know a hell of a lot of it's come straight through from Footbin, and honestly I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time to come over. It really means a lot, so thank you very much on that. As always, I do a weekly video on basically formations, tactics and instructions, and the reason I do it weekly is because I really try my best to give it a full week of playing in a specific formation, adjusting bits and bobs to see what works, what doesn't work, and then give you that information, and then it's to you to tweak it a little bit here and there if you want to. But today's video guys is all on the 4-3-2-1 formation. It's not something that I usually play. You know, I like to kind of have either wide players, or if I'm playing kind of like narrow, I'd go for the 4-1-2-1-2. So I just want to change it up a little bit, see what it's like. I appreciate there's a hell of a lot of good wingers in the game now, and if you can get them in game, you're absolutely laughing. So the idea is, this is my team at the minute, and I feel like it's starting to come together really well. What I would say is, in game, I change Deco out and I'll put Dybala in. Or in certain games, what I've actually been doing is I've been putting Cliver in for Deco and moving Trent Alexander-Arnold into midfield. So you'll see that you may have players similar that you can adjust positions. So straight into the tactics, instructions and everything like that. So the 4-2-3-1, I have gone for simply a case of balanced play with smack bang down the middle. The reason being is I went in, and a lot of the time what you'll find is there's either two tactics of how people set up in game, I believe, and it's either balanced or press after possession loss. I think in certain positions, certain formations, the press after possession loss is immense. I think it works extremely well. I started by playing that, and I had my wing backs or my full backs playing as sort of like balance. I had them stay back. I changed it to move forward when attacking, and I just felt so open, you know. And again, I was getting attacked down the wings. I felt, which were, you know, I understand you've got them additional players up the top, but I was just honestly the tactics that I was putting in game with that, changing the width, changing the depth and everything, it just didn't feel like it was working for me. But bearing in mind, I genuinely don't think, certainly in the last month or so, my defending has not been top notch. Attacking wise, I think it's been really good, and I feel like if I can blow a team away in the first 10 minutes, I'm getting fortunate enough to get quits. But against the likes of Neymar and Mbappe, they were the ones that I really seemed to notice it against. And it were down my right hand side. I just felt like that ball was breaking between Trent and Puyol. So that was something that were really starting to grate me. So basically, I reverted back to balance, and it seemed to work a lot better. Width, like I said, straight down the middle. I tried it a bit wider, but again, that's when I was saying I was getting exposed with them through balls. I tried it a little bit narrower, but then again, because I don't have wingers on either side, I felt like I was really getting done by their fullbacks, so it was really difficult. So the idea is stick to straight down the middle with this one for me. Depth 4, you do not 100% in this formation that you wouldn't realise how big a difference it makes going from 4 to 3. I started again with a 3. I changed it to balance. I still had 3, and honestly, like I felt like all my defence were like all setting up on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it was just like, I'm just waiting for a pass from the edge of 18-yard box to come straight into the box, boom, goal, and it was happening over and over again. It would do my head in, and this is why I play for a full week, because if you'd have spoke to me Tuesday, Wednesday last week, I'd have said to you, this is the worst formation game, genuinely, really crap. But changed it up, and I had 4 and 5 as depth. But in a lot of formations, what I find, guys, is that the 4 is the sweet number for me. It really is. Unless I'm playing 5 at the back, and I'll go maybe a little bit higher because I've got more coverage all over the place. But 4 is definitely where I'd say is the sweet spot for a defensive positioning. Into the offensive style, long ball again. It seems to be a case of a lot of people will either go balance, long ball, or fast build up. You know, possession doesn't seem to be used. I don't use it anyway. But the reason I've gone for long ball as opposed to fast build up, which might play in a 4-2-1-2, It's simply because of the pace that I've got in my right forward and left forward, getting in behind and things like that. It works unbelievably well, and I think that is where if you've got an out-and-out striker in your team, that will benefit because of your wide players, because they're getting in behind and they're getting that ball straight through to your centre forward. So long ball all day long for me. I've tried the other ones. I even tried possession, but I just felt so bored. It was like no movement going forward at speed which it needed to. Width again. This is just coinciding with what I was just saying about the long ball. Give your wing back. You give your attacking wing, like right winger, left winger, but they're in that bit more narrower formation, the license to kind of go out wide, because all of a sudden you're creating more space for your centre forward in the middle and you're getting into them pockets behind their fullbacks. It worked ace. You could, if you were a little bit more, if you weren't great at the over ball through, like the lofted through ball, maybe just take it down one, 6 or 7, but for me it certainly worked playing it up at 7. Players in box again, I liked it because I had, like I said, Dybala and Rooney in midfield, breaking forward with that kind of like defensive-minded centre midfielder being Essien, just sweeping up, just being there, that rock that I need. And as every formation you'll ever see me do, 2-and-2 free kicks and corners, simply because that doesn't really come in line with your specific formation. If you could play any formation you wanted to, and you could put 3, 4, 5 as your corners and free kicks, it'll be the same amount of players regardless of what formation. The only thing is, you move up to 3, 4, 5, you'll get counted against every single time, especially with the pace of other attacking players. So that's half of the tactics in place. Without the instructions, then tactics don't work. So going straight into how it works in game. Instructions. This is how it sets up. Like I said, ignore Deco. He works for a space of time in the game, but I put Dybala in there on that side just so he's got that left foot. Then, in game, this is where it gets kind of like a little bit different to a lot of other formations. I have balance and overlapped on both of my fullbacks. I don't change the interceptions. Sometimes I'll go aggressive or sometimes I'll go conservative, but in this one, if I went aggressive, I felt again there was too much space. You can see just from that picture there how much space a fullback on the other team could have, because you're quite narrow in the middle of the pitch, and then you've only got 2 forwards right at the top that are not really going to be doing a job tracking back. So it's certainly a formation you need to be quite solid at defending. That's what I would genuinely say. But attacking wise, it is class, absolutely class. So Trent and Gunter, they will be overlap, balanced. Both centre backs exactly the same. Stay back whilst attacking, normal interception. Do not go aggressive on these ones, because again, that's when you're filling in them spaces behind and you just get broke behind easily every single time. So into my midfield, I've changed it a little bit. Again, if you've seen any of my other videos, I've usually gone for sit back one, go forward other one. But because it's 3 in the centre, I've actually gone balanced on everything for Dybala. Sometimes I'll change it, and what I'll do, I'll put Dybala in Rooney's position and vice versa. But as it starts, I go balanced for Deco on everything. Essien, balance on everything except for stay back whilst attacking. That is key. Have your main defensive midfielder in that centre of your 3, 1,000,000%. Do not go thinking, I could put Kante in Deco's position, or whatever you might do. Stick to that. Works a treat all day, I swear. And then Rooney, get forward. Again, this is where it works with that tactics of getting 7 or 8 on your moving forward into the box. That worked amazingly. And like I said, sometimes, depending if I'm playing against a better player, I'd say I would change and then put Rooney in Deco's position so he's a bit more balanced. And I have my most attacking midfielder, which would be Dybala, in Rooney's position to go forward and at least kind of like affect the game a little bit more in the attacking third. And then my main players in any team, obviously, is your 3 up front. What you do with these is very kind of like up to you, I suppose. If you've got players like Robin or you've got players like Dybala on one side or the other, I've actually got 3 right-footed players up front, which is probably the first for me. But Ken He's so fast. I set him up as getting behind aggressive interceptions because I feel like I'm forcing them to make a long pass, and with the likes of Puyol and Bender back there, they're able to break that play down quite quickly. So him and Royce are exactly the same, and the reason why I've got that width and the tactics so wide is because all of a sudden I found in game that their two centre backs, one of them would like mark off with Kent, or one of them would mark off with Royce, and it'd create a massive bit of space for either one of the other players, either being Kent or Royce. And then if you've got a top striker like Lewandowski, I've left it balanced and everything. Typically, I would always say in every formation prior to having Lewandowski, I would always go supportive attacking runs, getting behind. But I found that I didn't need to do it in this formation. You know, you've got that much pace going in behind their fullbacks that all of a sudden you get to the byline, you can literally, there's so many goals. All I did, lofted through ball to Kent or Royce, get to touchline, and literally pass it back on the ground like a hard drilled pass. Lewandowski always in position. Obviously his rating helped, but at this stage in the game, I've played against so many teams that they've got a top level striker in there, and they will make that space. And it's the fact that you've been able to break their defensive line. All of a sudden, the defender that you're playing against starts getting a bit kerfuffled with what they're doing. They create space, they start moving into areas that they wouldn't necessarily go to, and all of a sudden, boom, you've got yourself a bag of space, and you can get it, whacked it back at net. Genuinely, guys, this is a formation that I would say, if you was to faff about with it and tweak it like I did, I probably would have given up after like the first day or two, because I just couldn't get to grips with it. I really couldn't. I felt like I was getting attacked against too easy. I weren't retaining possession enough. I didn't feel like I had enough width out wide. So that's why when you see the tactics that I've gone for, it honestly all goes together and it works absolutely quality. And I'd love it if you let us know how you get on in game, because it's something that really, once you've played it maybe 4 or 5 games, even with my setup, my tactics, if you copy everything to the exact number of notches up or down, it'll still take you a couple of games. But honestly, guys, once you've kind of adapted your style of play to them tactics, you'll get absolutely laughing. This will genuinely, in specific games when you might be a little bit under the cosh or whatever, or you needed to get into maybe your last 25 minutes of a game and you think, right, I need to get another goal here, or I just need to come back, without having to go constant attack and this, that and the other, these tactics, this will honestly potentially get you from a gold 2 to a gold 1, or whatever it might be that you're just moving up to the next step. I swear it'll really, really help you out. But look, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope it's been of some use. I hope it's helpful at seeing what you can do. Like I said in the beginning of the video, just tweak it a little bit. If there's certain things that you're not liking, if you feel like because you've got both your fullbacks on as balanced, maybe change it around, maybe go stay back whilst attacking. You know, that's always a really good option. But what I would say is, when I tried it to stay back, I just didn't feel like I had that additional help in them wide areas, in this narrower formation really. But yeah, look, that's it. I hope you liked it. And as always, if you're new to the channel, guys, please subscribe. Leave us a comment, click that thumbs up, the bell, just to get notified when new videos get released. But genuinely, from everything that it means to me to be kind of moving up towards 400 subscribers, it's absolutely quality. So yeah, thank you very much. But for today, guys, that's everything. Toodaloo.